So everyone's concerned in 2026, how to win in business. What's the secret? What's everyone not telling us? What are the successful people doing that we don't know about? Today's video is going to unlock that. So let's get right in. So we're going to talk about exclusively how doing more is going to be your roadmap to success. And I'll walk through my personal experiences on how doing more, what it looked like, what that was, so you can learn how I did what I did and that you can apply it to your own business too. So you can also get the goals that you want. So with my time in business, no matter what, I've been super keen on making things a volume game because it's pretty simple. When we think about the gym, we think about everything else. It really is, I do 100 inputs, I get 100 outputs. And then success starts looking like this, where I do 100 inputs and I get 300 outputs. But most people can't even get to that 100 output. Most people can't do the reps, do the actual thing to grow. Now, my name's Becht. I have a marketing agency. We just grew it to 125,000 this month, which is pretty cool. Fun about that. I take my team out to dinner to celebrate. They get to choose. I did put Waffle House down because I do like waffles. So let's start by asking ourselves a question. Why can't I do more? What's stopping me? What are the roadblocks I'm experiencing right now that are, really slowing down the progress I want to have? Well, let's get right into it. So your friends, your family, the people you're around, who's your girlfriend, all of these things could be stopping you from doing more. And let me get a little more clear with this. Your girlfriend, your friend, your mom, hey, you want to go get dinner? Hey, you want to go do this? What's your free time looking like? That's your stop. A lot of people say, oh, I don't have enough hours in the day. You do, because someone else did. The fact that someone else can work 14 hours a day and still be around for their kids and do those other things, a good example like making is that I think it's a statistic that fathers just make more. People who are married just make more, generally, because they have more to lose. I mean, I can guarantee having a dependent on you is like, oh, I have to make it work. You can have to make it work. And a lot of things that we're going to talk about today is psychology shift behind. You need to convince yourself that if you don't do more, you will die. Now, it's dramatic. It's a little dramatic, but if you convince yourself that truth, guess what's going to happen? You're going to do more. A lot of your actions day to day are based off of the truth and the things that you do or don't do. So change the mentality, your output will change. Now, I want to speak to the people that have the idea that they need to make things perfect before executing, that they need to have the quality down before the quantity. Now, here is how we're going to debunk that. Here's the number one thing, that the quantity will create the quality. It's your reps. You do something 1,000 times, 5,000 times, you will get better, guaranteed. The thing stopping you from getting better actually is you not doing the thing. What is it? I think Alex Mosey talks about all the time. I love the analogy where it was, actually no, I think it was maybe Simon Sinek. He's a great guy, by the way. Listen to his book, The Infinite Game, it'll change your life. So he talked about how professor assigned a class. It was 100 students, 50 of them spent all their time making one piece of pottery perfect. The other 50% made as many pots as they can. The goal was make as many pots. The other one was make one pot really well. Who made the better pot? The class who did 50 of them. That is a direct correlation to your inputs make you better at the thing. So before you start thinking, well, I need to be ready first, I need to think about it, I need to have this plan, just start doing it and you will get better. Guaranteed. And that is how more is making you better at what you want to do. At business, life, relationship, whatever it is, more is your gateway. And let me tell you guys this, you are almost guaranteed, cutting yourself short. Let me share an example of my life. So there was a phase about a month or two ago where I was kind of out of the gym. I just didn't work out as much. It was like once or twice a week. I was like, I don't make time. And then I told myself a lie that I was too busy. And it was a lie, guaranteed. It's as simple as, if you want to do something, you're going to make time for it. Guaranteed, you will. If it's 9 o'clock at night and you're tired, okay, go to the gym. You could. I mean, if you audit your time, I did this with one of my coaching clients last week where I went through his Monday every hour. And during that audit of his time, I found out that he was spending probably 30 hours a month just on making programs for people. And I was like, why are you making your programs week for week and not writing the whole month out? He was like, well, just my platform. And I was like, why not just use Google Docs? And he said, I could. And that's the thing. It literally was just a mindset shift of, oh, I could have just done this instead. So audit your time and you can really start to think about, oh, I actually have a lot more time than I think. Because maybe you're spending an hour in the morning cooking breakfast, which is a note for me. I don't cook any food. I literally eat out every meal of the day because I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean. I don't want to do freaking anything because it's a waste of my time. It really is. I can just drive somewhere, grab a sandwich and be good. Now, am I going to live a long life? I don't know. We're going to find that out later. but it gets things done faster. I'm a super time efficient person. And there's times where I don't want to be efficient. Like there are times where I go into something knowing I don't want to be efficient. I want this to be slow. I want this to be a long thing. And that's typically time where I'm trying to be social with family or with my girlfriend. But I have to be honest with myself. I will not be honest with myself being like, oh, I'm gonna go to this family event and be I'm gonna work hard and call myself this. Like, no, this is unproductive time. And it's nothing offensive to anybody else, but it just is what it is. So being honest with yourself is also going to be a gateway for you doing more in your life. So speaking more on this theme of more is often equivalated to different changes. People think more is a change when more should be a direct focus. So let's think of a hose. What has more power? A hose that has one stream just shooting at one area, or the setting that sprays everything everywhere? I think everyone gets that. You get more power in the stream when it's focused on one target. That applies to you. If you can focus all of your energy on one thing, you can do something crazy. Another analogy to this is if you have a drop on a rock for 100 years, you will drill a hole through that rock. But if it's just something slowly going like every other day or kind of not really touching consistently, the same change doesn't happen. So, that's nature validating the ideology that if you can focus your time and energy on one thing and then increase the output on that one thing, you will get more of a result. Now, when I talk about that drop, just hitting that rock for 100, 200 years and drilling a hole in it, it's boring. It's not exciting. Like nothing about this is super enticing or sexy or all this fun stuff. Most business owners just grow through consistency. They just grow through the mundane every day. I mean, there's times where I almost feel crazy because I'm like, I'm not doing anything new. And I'm like, my personality test, when I take it, like I'm a maverick. I like changing things. I'm super big on that. But I also have to be honest with myself and okay, well, I know I'm going to get the best results in my business when I just do the one thing over and over if I just make more content, if I just do more cold outreach, if I just make more connections. Like I know if I just do those three things at scale, I will make tons of money, but I have to do them and I have to not get distracted. So don't get distracted, make more money. Now, let's say when you're doing more, you find an opportunity that could lead to change. You think, oh, this is actually a super high leverage move. There is an equation that you need to be mindful of that I'm now mindful of whenever you're implementing a new system in your business. So opportunity cost, we learned about this in high school, right? So if there's an opportunity cost where every time you implement something new, let's say that takes 20% reduction in productivity. So I now have to train my team to be like, guys, I want you to implement this new system because here's the thing, no one's gonna work as fast as you. If you own the business, you're probably the highest performer, probably. And if you can hire better ones, great. It's hard to find someone who's gonna be that invested, that tied in. So when you implement something new, there's going to be a drop in productivity. Now learning that new system, which means that new system better give you a 5X. It better give you a 10X, or it's not worth it. If you're doing a 20% drop in productivity to implement something that's only 10% better, you're actually gonna be net negative. So be mindful of what changes you implement when you're in this more cycle, this motivational run that you're gonna be in. Be mindful, make sure it's worth your time. Now, when it comes to marketing is one of the biggest levers you can pull in more. I mean, if I had to correlate one word with marketing, it would be more marketing, just do more of it. It's always funny. I told a lot of business owners that, if everyone in the world knew about your business, would you make more money? And if they say yes, then they have a marketing problem. End of the story. Like if you had 1,000 people knocking down your door, you'd be like, I want your product, or I know about you. And most of the time people know about you, they end up wanting your product. That's kind of how it goes. Then it's a marketing problem. So here's the 4 levers of marketing that you don't know about yet, and you're gonna find out today. 1, you got warm outreach, you got ads, you got content, and cold outreach. What does that look like? This is content. That is a pillar. Warm outreach, inbound leads, someone who's expressed direct interest in your product. Cold outreach, they don't know who you are, never heard of you in your life, but you're like, hey, you wanna buy this thing? Ads. Now here's the cool thing about content and ads. Content and ads are directly related to each other. The better the content is, the better the ads will play, because here's how it's gonna work. The content teaches the algorithm that this type of person likes whatever they're selling. And people who run ads then target that, which you'll see a lot, that if you watch Alex Hormozi's content, you're gonna see Alex Hormozi's ads because they're retargeting you. They want you to consume the content, build the trust, and then they go in for the ask. And most of the content he makes doesn't even have an ask in it. It's pretty just value driven first, but then he runs ads and that captures all the data. So this can apply to your business too. Provide free value and then run an ad to capture the data and you'll make more money. Now that we've talked about these 4 levers that you can pull in business, we're gonna talk about how it's going to affect your business. So when you start doing more in your business, when you start doing more outreach, more content, whatever, you're gonna have an influx of volume of leads, which is good. Here's the thing, let the lead volume validate your system. So don't get ahead of yourself. Don't be doing things you're like, oh, this doesn't scale right now. You don't even have the money to scale. You don't have the systems to scale. You have nothing to scale. Build something that forces you to scale. So this is what I mean by this. Diamonds are made by pressure. A diamond doesn't just happen out of no reason. You need to put your business through the pressure to become a diamond. So that is going to come from your scaling. That's going to come from your more that you're doing. Let that be the guiding factor. Don't worry about making everything perfect. Don't worry about doing everything the right way the first time around. Let things break. And then when something breaks, you fix it. You make it better. And you will always improve as long as something happens and you learn from it. So if something breaks in your systems, if a client leaves or churns because something happens, you're like, okay, cool. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. And I'll make sure that doesn't happen again by doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But you wouldn't have learned that unless you had the pressure in your company to learn, to be like, oh, this breaks when I reach this threshold of volume. That's growth, that's scaling, that is more. So it really comes down to as simple as this. If you want to beat everybody else, like aggressively just pummel them on the ground, it's brute force. It is brute force of doing more. More ad spend, more content, more cold outreach, more networking, more everything. That produces a result. Now, don't take this the wrong way and be like, oh, I just should do more drinking. No, that is not the thing I'm talking about right now. Don't take this the wrong way. It's the activities that will drive revenue for your business, direct revenue drivers. And super high level, you could ask your current client base, because if you don't know where your clients are coming from, ask 30 clients, hey, how'd you hear about me? What are these things? And if 10 of the 20 say they heard about you from Google, Instagram, whatever it is, double down. Spend a lot of money on Google, spend a lot of money on Instagram. Like that's your walidating factor. That's where you know where to do more. So if you don't want to stay small, if you don't want to constantly be thinking, why is my business not growing? If you want to get out of that mindset, if you want to get into the mindset of growth, the mindset of how am I going to make this as big as possible? For us guys out there, world domination, how do I take over the world? It's through more soldiers, more team members, more outputs, more everything. You need to do more, guaranteed. So if you leave this video with one thing, I hope you left with, maybe I'm not doing as much as I could, because you're probably not. I know I'm not doing as much as I can. There are plenty of days that I'm tired or some shit's going on in my life and I'm like, and I'm not as productive. The more and more I detach myself from those feelings that I have day to day and just become a machine, which, you can lose your humanity, but I will tell you, you are not going to have a super high level of success and always maintain your humanity. You have to let things give. And that's, it's not balanced. Being the successful is not balanced. You can't expect to have a balanced life and do it. But if you can endure the pain, success really is just how long you can endure pain. Endure pain for a long period of time. Do this more, or do this. Promise me you will do more of whatever you're doing for the next 10 years, and I can guarantee you will have an outcome that you wouldn't have believed. Guaranteed. So, as always, if you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share it. Make a Reddit thread. Make a Reddit thread about how much you don't like me. Do it. I dare you. I'll comment and I'll say something too, because there are plenty of things I'm trying to improve on anyways. But also, if you guys need business funding or social media management, my business does those two things. We do them fucking great, and I'd love to help you. So, as always, see you guys in the next video.